ricotorodrpr. Thanks again, y'all. Much love. Help me get into 1,000. So, first off, don't send money to anyone that you have not met in person. Ask them to do a video chat with you. You know, if you speak a little Spanish and maybe they speak a little English, you'll find out if you communicate or not. If they don't speak any English, you don't speak any Spanish, you may not be comfortable with it. You might realize you have to use translator too much. So, and plus you get a chance to see them up close and personal, away from any potential filtered pics. Be wary of the pictures. Check the dates, things like that on places that you can, like Facebook, etc. Stay tuned. Yeah! Salute to you! Thank you! Thank you guys! Help me to get to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you! Appreciate you all. Couple names I'm gonna push because they've been pushing me. Fred Fells. Fred Fells been kind of like updated me even more than I've been checking and updating my own numbers. Much love to you, brother. 29, that dude's been riding for a while. Loyal supporter to the channel. Appreciate you, bro. I'll be in Virginia next week, actually, the middle of next week. Like halfway to Richmond, basically, though not too close to DC. So we finally did it. My goal was May 1st, because that made an official year I've been doing YouTube, basically, from here. So anyways, yeah, I pressed hard. I may or may not have, depending on your opinion. It's subjective. Just been throwing some crap up these past few days, just trying to make a good push. But, I've gotten fairly decent response, so I guess I did all right. So, thank you guys. So, we do have a topic, actually. One of the friends of the channel, JJ, that's what I call you guys, friends of the channel, not followers or subscribers. But JJ had an idea. So why don't I do a video about online dating? So I said, that's a very good topic, because there's a lot of confusion out there. I'm not the expert. This is just my real life experiences and personal observations. But I do have a couple of close friends that, been living here a while, and they do a lot of their meeting and greeting and dating and mating and salivating, online. So I hear their stories, and I've used Facebook a little bit, do a little online dating. I'm old school, so I don't have IG set up. So basically, there's a couple of things, like some of this, like the communication part, could apply to just about any woman you meet in Dominican Republic with the intention of getting to know. So I'll go into the communication part last. So basically, you see somebody online that, a pretty face, nice body pops up. You're like, all right, let me check this one out. What's this one about? Well, some red flags right away. All right. Depending on what you're looking for. It all depends on what you're looking for. So, let's say, first you're just looking for, let's say, the professional, the pro, the hoe. So with her, you don't really care about that background so much. You know, the picture posted up at Envy. The meringue bar or Envy or Roomba. Pictures in there. Pictures in front of Casa Linda, in front of some other guy's pool. It's kind of irrelevant. Comes with the territory. When looking into a pro. But thing I would say is this though: if anyone is too thirsty or right away, like pressing to see you, or right away before you get past like, hola, como está, how's your day, you're cute or whatever. If you don't even get past that and they're like right away, like, how much will you give me? How much will you give me for my time? I just, next, swipe left or right, I don't know. But go the other direction to the next one. That's a little bit, to me, it's like, that's just too straight, too hardcore, whatever. And some like that, she's being direct. But I don't like them to just put it out there like that, right away. And that could apply whether you're on Tinder, Baidu, Cupid, to name a couple common apps, or Facebook or Instagram for that matter. If they're too pushy, like right out the gate, what are you gonna do for me? Or can you see me today? That's a problem. And one thing I usually would recommend, and I was the same way in the States, just dating in general. For me, a lot of times the print's too small on a lot of those apps. So after like a message or two, I'm just dropping my WhatsApp right away. Here's my number. Hit me directly. You could always block them if, things go left or they're crazy. So then like, let's say you do connect with one and you want to set something up or whatever. Well, and this is a communication thing with just about any woman, almost anywhere, but certainly here. If you don't really know them yet, and especially if you're using translator, don't send them a message asking them like 4 or 5 questions. Chances are they'll answer the first, and then they'll answer, and then they'll just be like, when are you gonna see me or whatever. So don't get all technical and long-winded. And like me and one of my boys, LeVar, shout out to that brother, he uses the app some. We're long-winded when we talk to each other. I joke with him, he's on a short list of friends that are more long-winded and talk more than I do. So he's like I say, we talk long-winded, but I'm telling him, like, bro, you can't be texting these girls like that. They're gonna read the top message and they're not even gonna read the rest. And I'm actually DJing my own little background music as we go from the backup phone. Yeah, good or bad, I'm DJing as I talk. Multitasking, yeah! Thank you very much. 1,000, un mil. So yeah, like I say, I say, keep it brief, pop a question, get an answer, pop another question, get an answer, like that. Don't try to send them paragraphs and books expecting them to answer every question. I mean, young people in general don't communicate like that anyways, let alone, these girls, that spell Aki like here, AKI instead of AQUI, or, I'm on my way to over there, en camino allá, A, they just yeah, AYA. So you think they want to be reading, 4 or 5 questions at a time. So here's an interesting thing about like women here. And a friend of mine, was talking about this. Says they might ask us a ton of questions. They want all the details from us of what we're about, what we're doing, what we're looking for, etc. However, they do not like answering direct questions as to what they're about, what they're willing to accept and do, and blah, blah. And the reason is they always like a little flexibility, a little wiggle room to switch up their program and game. A lot of guys, that's, it's common. So sometimes you just have to feel them out and get to know them and be with them. You can't put it all out in writing always because, for one thing, you get too technical, too transactional in writing. It messes up the experience when you're together in person. So some things, the nitty gritty, yeah, you want to know. Personally, I don't like it when anybody asks me too quickly what I'm giving them. I prefer to offer that after I've built up a little bit of rapport, communication. So now let's segue a little bit into, sorry, I know some people say I'm too corporate. Excuse me for using that segue word. So, all right, now let's roll into the non-pro, just regular chicks, regular girls, normal girls. So you're looking for a non-pro, something a little more meaningful, rewarding. How do you tell them apart online from the others? Well, there's a very thin line because now, especially after COVID, they all have a story. I used to be a shoe salesman, a baker, a diamond importer, a cook, a receptionist, car salesman, you name it. They all have a story of what many of them want to represent themselves as not being in the game, have a story. So now they're just looking for a little help and to meet some people, blah, blah, blah. So, but an easy way to tell that, one of the ways to tell that, should I say, is again, we go back to the background pictures. If the pictures are like in their grandmother's kitchen or something, or in what looks like a barrio or campo, sort of low key, chances are they might not be that high profile or professional. At least they might be, they might either be one or two things, semi-pro or non-pro. Semi-pro meaning they don't go with just anybody and they are trying to have a regular job. They're selective, and like I say, they're particular. They might be particular, just looking for a little help, and they may have a job, but they don't ever. You don't ever see them. You won't ever see them in the street. You won't ever see them at Envy. You won't ever see them at Bailey's, Roomba, etc. You won't see them on the beach. Very seldom. So they're at that level, and then you have those that are like truly like non-pros, and that they don't have Wi-Fi half the time even. They don't even have a smartphone hardly. That they're strictly like looking for like a husband, something steady. There is a financial factor, but those type, if you really can communicate with them and get in with them, you're not going to be hit over the head like right away for money or anything. The only downside is at some point, you get in tight, you meet the family, is sometime you might be asked to help for an operation or pay for a funeral or something. That's the only downside. I'm just saying, keeping it real, keeping it real. So then you have on the higher end, I guess, well, I don't know about higher end, maybe high class. There's a site, Seeking Arrangements, a friend of mine uses. It's pretty common in the States. It's basically a sugar daddy site for, all common purposes. In which, you might have someone that's an accountant, school teacher, gynecologist, attorney. They might be looking to be part of a power couple. And you could be like a help desk rep or a customer service guy working remote from the States and income wise, you're a good half of a Dominican power couple. So they're looking for their equivalent. They're not necessarily going to be real clear about what it is they're looking for, always, and they might take a little while longer to make any real progress with. So you have to ask questions. You have to ask questions like, if you're going to, basic questions you should kind of ask at some point. Like I said, I know I said don't bombard them with questions, but you might want to ask them like, what were you doing before to support yourself? What exactly is it that you're looking for? And tell them exactly what it is that you're looking for. It's not an exact science. There's a lot of gray area here. But those are just some tips. Hope that helps. Thanks again for helping me get to that 1,000. And if you're new here, go ahead, hit that subscribe, and let's keep it going. So stay blessed, stay well. Rico.toro.